This is ETV, sponsored locally by the Boise Weekly, Radio Boise, and KBOI TV Channel 2.
Hello everybody and welcome to ETV, entertainment television everywhere in the Treasure Valley. I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy. I'm your fill-in host because Brad Rowan has the week off. And this week on the show we're going to talk about the wine industry in Idaho, but first things first, we're going to talk about your weekend entertainment options. And there are 4 new movies hitting local theaters. Let's check them out.
2 guys in masks jumped me and strapped a bomb to my chest, and now I have less than 9 hours to rob a bank. And your first thought was to come to a school filled with young children?
4 new films hit theaters this week, including the R-rated comedy 30 Minutes or Less. It's the story of a slacker dude / pizza guy and his best friend who are being forced to rob a bank by 2 idiot criminals.
I had a vision.
Final Destination 5 is the story of a bunch of people who narrowly escaped death on a collapsing bridge, and now death is looking to reap those that got away from his clutches.
Death doesn't like to be cheated.
Why are you all standing? They haven't even done anything yet!
Gleeks will be thrilled as Glee, live in 3D, struts into theaters for 2 weeks only. It's basically the cast of Glee in concert, and who wouldn't love a couple of hours of singing and dancing?
Please, save your money. This thing sucks.
These women raise white children. We love them and they love us, but they can't even use the toilets in our houses. I'd like to write something from the point of view of the help. I want to interview you.
The most notable new film is The Help, based on the popular novel. This is the feel-good story of a young Mississippi woman in the 1960s. She writes a groundbreaking novel about how white housewives treat their black maids, and it stirs up all sorts of trouble, but also forges a sisterhood between the writer and the woman she interviews, while helping crystallize the burgeoning civil rights movement of the day.
Chance for me to be in a movie that made a statement that illuminated a part of our history that we have a tendency to be silent about.
And that's what's new at the movies this week. I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy for ETV. Okay, so these 4 films out this week, it's something sort of for everybody. If you're a Gleek, and I will admit that I am as well, I can't wait to see Glee in concert. I have not seen this one, they didn't screen it, but you know, it's the singing and dancing, it's basically a concert experience with the cast of Glee. Can't wait to see that one. If you're a horror fan, we haven't had much horror all year long. Final Destination 5. Certainly haven't seen any horror films all summer. And then also 30 Minutes or Less, which is not a great comedy, to be quite honest. It's kind of another one of those comedies where they do a raunchy for the sake of raunchy, and they forget to do a lot of the funny stuff. The big one, obviously, is The Help. I think that is a very good film. You want to check this one out. It's got that nice feel-good, it's got a civil rights story, but it's a story of sisterhood. I think it's certainly one of the better dramas of the summer, and let's face it, adults haven't had a movie in so long, so you will certainly want to go see The Help. 2 new films over at the Flicks. The first is Bride Flight. It's the story of 3 women aboard the flight that won the Great Air Race from London to New Zealand. I think it was in the 1950s. It was dubbed the Bride Flight because it carried a number of Dutch women who were already, their fiancés had already settled in New Zealand. So Bride Flight. The other one is Project Nim, a documentary from James Marsh, the Academy Award-winning director of Man on a Wire. It follows the life of a baby chimpanzee that was raised in a human family and was taught to speak in sign language. Certainly a nice documentary for animal lovers and for those of you who enjoy great documentary filmmaking. Over on home DVD, we have the comedies Paul, Your Highness, Jumping the Broom, Mars Needs Moms, and Super. And my picks would be basically anything but Mars Needs Moms. Not a good film. I quite enjoyed Paul, the story of 2 science fiction geeks on a road trip through the American Southwest. They just want to see some famous UFO sites, but end up picking up a space alien named Paul in this very funny road adventure that admittedly played much better among the geek-friendly crowds at the South by Southwest Film Festival than it did in real-life theaters. And the other DVD is Super. It's actually one of the funnier films that I've seen this entire year. Saw it at the South by Southwest Film Festival. Rainn Wilson stars as this guy who thinks that God has called him to become a superhero, except he has no powers. He does have a wrench that he runs around and he tries to hit people over the head with it. A very funny film, very dark comedy, but it's out on DVD this week. If you like dark comedies, go see Super. A lot of fun. Now, not much to talk about in the local theater scene. Starlight Mountain Theater in Garden Valley still has High School Musical, Singing in the Rain, and How to Succeed in Business in rep throughout the rest of the summer. Get tickets at 462-5523 or go to starlightmt.org. And Idaho Shakespeare Festival has both Cabaret and The Taming of the Shrew. They're running in rep through August 28th. Get tickets at 336-9221 or go to idahoshakespeare.org. So there you have it. Some good options this week at the movie theaters, on home DVD, and in local theater. Good stuff. All right, when we come back, we'll be giving you more good stuff with Tara Morgan from the Boise Weekly as ETV continues.